You keep on knocking, but you can't come in. I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't know. It jumped me. It got me quickly. Came on. Lord, the show, I tell you. Never prepared. Welcome to your Vape at 5. I'm your host. I am BlackCat. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate that. It's Wednesday, and what do we do on Wednesday on the Vape at 5, Big G? What do we do? Tony, do you know what we do on Wednesday? Well, I'll tell you what we do. We do a review today. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my custom-made Veronica. This shirt has been Veronica. This is a custom-made shirt. I've had offers of money for this shirt if I signed it and sent it out, which I think is fucking hysterical. I haven't sent it out, though. I'm wearing it today. I didn't have another one. I'm freezing. It's cold in my basement. I should have a jacket on. I'll probably catch cold. I've already have a stuffy nose. So if I'm down for the count before the end of this review, it's your fault, Tom Urban. 100% your fault. I had to force my way through to get this review out there to the masses. All 220 people that watch it, maybe, if I'm lucky. How's everybody doing? Great day. It's Wednesday. Today is hump day. It is the week leading into Christmas. We are 6 days away. If you celebrate Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate, it's a great time, my favorite time of the year. Really looking forward to it, and we're gonna have some fun today. We really are. We're gonna take a look at the Bunker RSA. It is a rebuildable squonking atomizer, which I never really understood that because it's a dripper is what it is, but they send it to you as a squonker, and which I'll go over in the review, but that's just one of the things they mention in the description of it. That is actually an easier squonking atomizer, which I'll kind of talk about what that all entails. Today I was thinking, I think a lot. I do. And typically the things I think about, to me, are pretty funny. They're pretty funny. And I've never had an outlet. I thought about that the other day. I've never had an outlet to tell people about all the funny things that I think about during a typical day that go through my brain. There's people at work that I've noticed, that I've come in contact with and that I've identified on my floor, the floor you work on in a building, a corporate building, typically are the people that you see on a daily basis. Now, there's 3 people that I've identified on my floor that are basically, they're like Scott stoppers. They will make me stop and go the other way. Do you have anybody at work like that? Like that you see them? And it could be like you have to go to the back. Now, there are things, I will qualify that. There are reasons that I will walk towards them, one of them being if I'm about ready to shit my pants. If I'm about ready to shit my pants, I will walk. If Satan could be in front of the bathroom, I'd be like, hey, Satan, and just go right in. I would, because if you got to shit your pants, there's nothing stopping you from getting to the bathroom. I mean, you got to go. It's a fucking emergency. It is literally, it's hard to be cool when you got to shit your pants. Somebody stops you and wants to talk to you. Hey, Scott, what's going on? I saw that report you put out the other day. I have no time to talk, sir. No time. I can't talk to you. Sometimes you wouldn't even get that. You just be like, ah! So keep walking. You'd be like, that dude's probably going to shit his pants. That's what I think, at least. There's 3 people on my floor at work that are Scott stoppers that I will see, and I will go completely out of my way. I will walk all the way down steps, around buildings, to avoid them at all costs. There was one of them standing at the end of the road today, and I had to get up there to ask a question to somebody who was working on a project I was working on. And I literally waited for an hour and 15 minutes until that first. And I'm sitting at my desk working. I'm like, I'm at this fucking roadblock. I really need to ask so-and-so a question because I don't understand exactly what these numbers mean. And so maybe somebody can help me here. And the person that needed to help me was near the Scott stopper. And so I decided, literally, I sat at my desk for almost an hour and 15 minutes because I didn't want to go up there and if I wanted to avoid this person so badly. And I thought, that's pretty fucking funny. That's funny. To me it is. All right, guys, I figured I'd give you a little story there before we get started. So today we're gonna do the Bunker RDA review. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to say hi to everybody in the chat. I'm going to say hi to you. I'm going to say hi to you a bunch. And then we're going to go straight into the giveaway. Now, there is a giveaway today of 2 30 mils of Adore ELiquid, and a set of coils from CollinVapes. To enter this giveaway, you know what you got to do. What do you got to do? Jane, do you know what you got to do? You have to put a number between 1 and 150 in Monday's episode. That is BlackCat's featured builder, CollinVapes. The Bunker RDA. So, to qualify this, to just start it out, Asmodus has been extremely good to me, and they sent me this RDA for the purposes of this review. It won't change how I feel about it or what I say. I'm going to give you basically my user experience. I've been using it now for about 7 days. I think today is the 7th day because I switched it over. I already had it wicked and I was using it a little bit, but after the Rebirth review last week, I switched it over completely, and I've been using it exclusively since then. So stats on this RDA: it is a 24.5 millimeter, 33 diameter, 33 millimeters tall. It is a rebuildable squonking atomizer, is how they're describing it. So the first thing that you notice on this RDA is the glass see-through window there. And that really is the main focus and the main selling point of the RDA. The reason it's called the Bunker RDA, I assume, and it doesn't say this, is because it kind of reminds you of like a World War II type trench warfare, bunker that somebody would sit in, like a concrete bunker, and you would sit in and aim your rifle out of, and just shoot the people attacking, or whatever. So I think that's where they got the Bunker RDA from, because it does have that glass window. The reasons for the window are pretty simple. One, I think some people find it aesthetically pleasing. A lot of people, that use glass RDA caps. I'm not one of them. I don't like them. I think they come across looking dirty after you've been using them for a little bit. And it's really impossible to keep them clean. It really is. And so it's not something that is really appealing to me. But Trinity Glass is a huge company, and a lot of people use them, and they really, really enjoy them. The reasons for that glass window in there is it is set at the exact center, or the exact, I guess you could call it the center of the RDA, so that you can peer in and you can see the top of your coil. You can also see the cotton coming out of the coil and a little bit into the juice well. And what you're supposed to do is it's supposed to indicate how wicked your coils are. I never used it for that, and I'll tell you right now, one of the main positives of this RDA is it wicks fantastically. And you'll see why when I show you the deck. You'll see why it actually does. It really, there's not a problem with the wicking at all. I haven't had a dry hit from it. I've been using the DS, and if you have a DS or a TS, you know that these are really, really stiff bottles. And I don't like the bottle at all, but you're kind of stuck with it when you buy this because it's proprietary to the device. But I don't like the bottle. I don't like how firm that is. So it doesn't. To me, it's not really that easy of a squonker, but I haven't had any dry hits or anything from this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take it down to the table here. We will take a look at the Bunker RDA. Get this all set up for you fine gentlemen. Ladies. More for the ladies. What'd you guys think of the hot tub yesterday? Did you guys like the hot tub? the vape hot tub. I think that name's so funny. The vape hot tub. Like, what the fuck? That's why it's funny to me. All right, I'll shut the fuck up and do the review. Here we go. All right, guys, so here we go. You're looking at the case of the Bunker RDA, or as I would call it, an RSA. 1 to 150, Tony. 1 to 150, my brother. Color indication on it was red. The actual RDA they sent me was gold in the pack. I don't know if that matters, neither here nor there, but that was one of the things I noticed when I got it. It's in this like cylinder type container, pretty nice. Around the side here it says Asmodus verification check. On the bottom here, some really, really clear indication of what is actually in the container. You get a Bunker RDA, you get a couple coils, triple fuse Claptons. But I believe there's only one coil in here, so we'll double check that. The other one only had one coil. Get a couple hex tools. You get a glass window, a spare. You get one in the RDA and a spare. You get a squonker center pin, which is already installed. You also get a 510 pin, gold plated. You get and some You get a spare parts pack with it and a user manual. There's a warning for you. You want to pause that and read it. If you have any of those conditions, you are likely to die by using this, just so you know. To get into this, you're just going to turn this. It opens just like that. Here is the user manual. Now, I might be the only person on earth who actually looks at the user manuals, but I do, and that's just the way that I do it. If you open this up here, it's going to tell you pretty much all about the RDA. So you can see here, the installation, how to wick your cotton, the bunker RDA. There's a nice shot of the bottom of it. Some attention, things to read, and a legal disclaimer. On the other side here, it's going to give you some more information. So, stainless steel construction. It's about 40 grams in weight, 5'10", 24 by 33 millimeters, as I already spoke. There's what is included in the kit, listed there as well. Here's something interesting. So, it is a 5-piece RDA. Good luck getting that cover out of that RDA barrel. It's fucking impossible. I could not getting out. Even the drip tip. The drip tip is goon style. It's a dual O-ring drip tip. So it is really, really tough to get out. I didn't take the glass out or even attempt to. It's in there really, really well. And one thing about the glass is it's set in there so that if you were to drop the RDA, it's set back far enough that it would not break the glass. The glass is actually protected by the barrel, which is pretty nice, actually. And there's a pretty basic look at the deck, which we will look at a little bit more, and some more important information. So the nerdy part is out of the way. Inside here, you're going to get your spares part. Comes in a nice little package. You guys know that's one of my pet peeves when they just come in a regular plastic package. I like how Asmodus does it. There's their logo up on top there. There's your 510 pin, your regular 510 pin, a couple grub screws, some O-rings, and the aforementioned coil. There's only one coil in there. I can feel it. There's only one. Yeah, they don't give you two. Pharaoh style, which you'll see when we open the deck. Couple hex wrenches, even though they mentioned one, you get two. One for the deck and one for your squonk pin. So let's put this to the side and take a look at the RDA. Don't mind if I do this live, do you? See, this is where I would edit stuff out. Can't do it live! All right, let me grab the RDA here. Here we go. And here is a look at the actual RDA. So this is the Asmodus. Whoops. Let me focus this in just a touch. There we go. A little better. Asmodus Bunker RDA. A nice uppy, closey, personal look at it here. It's actually not a bad looking RDA. Got the Asmodus logo on there. Your two windows on either side. Those airflow, your air intake are 1.2 millimeter by 8.5 millimeters. For me, it seems they're a little big for a single coil RDA. It is bottom flow, and the airflow actually angles up. So it comes in here, and then it comes in at about like that angle up into right onto the coil, which is I love bottom flow RDA. It doesn't really leak. There's a little bit of leaking if you over squonk it. I didn't use it in dripping in a dripping configuration, so I don't know if it leaks when you drip it. But through squonking, it won't. It's basically it won't leak if you don't over squonk it. And it wicks, like I said, it wicks really, really, really well. One thing to note here is if you look at the actual drip tip on this, it goes down to about a 6.5 millimeter air entry there to the drip tip, which is nice. It'll help with flavor. And it'll keep it from being, overly open with the airflow there. Just a straight cut down 810 drip tip would really open it up to just too much airflow. And you already have, the airflow to me seems kind of big. So by closing that down a little bit, it really helps with flavor and keeps it from being over airy. But it is a direct lung. It's not a restricted direct lung. It is certainly a direct lung single coil RDA. Let me clean this up. I don't know what that's wet from, quite frankly, which is kind of scary. I haven't used this one yet, so I don't know if that came from my fingers. So here's the bottom of it. It just says Asmodus and Bunker. It is going to come with your squonk pin installed. All right, let's put it on here and take a look at the inner cap. So here's going to come one of the big pros for this RDA. And one thing that I noticed is immediately is it's got really good weight. And typically when something has decent weight for size, you know that the construction of it is pretty good. So if you look here, look how thick that top cap is. Really, really nice machining on it. Asmodus has really stepped their game up as far as the construction of their products. And I mean, the only one I really had any kind of problems with was the Voluna V2. The other ones that I've reviewed for them have really, everything's been really, really nice. Concave up top. Again, that cap is removable, but good luck getting that out. Now you look here, here's your airflow control stop and start. You line that up when you put on the cap and it opens and closes that giant airflow there. All right, set that to the side. Let's take a look at the deck. So here you go, single coil RDA, single coil deck, Pharaoh style install. It is super, super easy to install coils in this. I mean, it is literally something that I think that's the market they were going for. Let me show you something real quick. If you look right there at the airflow, see how that's angled down, angled up towards the towards the coil. So it is bottom flow with the airflow angling up towards the coil. One thing I think I would have suggested on it is to do more what Mike did on the Rebirth and to make this hole smaller than the actual incoming airflow hole. This one thing I probably would have tried, and it probably would have helped focus that air a little bit. Another good thing to look at here is look at the squonk pin, how high up it sits. So squonk pin is right here, obviously. See if I can get that to focus in just a touch more. There we go, that's better. Squonk pin sits about 4 millimeters off of the deck, and there's really no problems with it wicking. I didn't get any dry hits at all with it, and it really wasn't a concern. So I mentioned the install of the coil. The coil is going to be installed Pharaoh style. Got your positive here and your negative here, which is milled into the deck. The focus of this RDA was to be a beginner's squonk RDA. Hence the reason it's really easy to install. They give you a coil that is ready to install. And the reason that they opened up with that window on the RDA was so that a beginning squonker could look at it and make sure that the wick was actually saturated before they used it. So that's the reason here. A couple things about the deck that I like and don't like. One, I like the restriction of the deck. I like that they closed down how much air could get in here, that it's restricted a bit, really closing it down and maximizing the coil without taking away from the coil space. I think it was a really, really good idea. One thing about it though, and this is one of the things I think takes away from the flavor on it, is you're really smothering the airflow with your coil. So your coil sits basically right there in line with those two airflows, and it's closed in so much that the coil really muffles the airflow. And I think that is one of the reasons why. Now, I did not play with the coil that much. And I'll actually show you. Let me show you what mine looks like in here. So I'm going to bring this up just a touch. So this is how I've been vaping it right there. And that's a 7 wrap, 27 gauge Nichrome 80 Alien right there. And that's on a 3 mil jig, but you look how nice that's wicked. So let's just hit it here with some juice. You can see it fill up there, and it really wicks fantastically. So that's a huge, huge plus. But if you look here, the coil basically is, to me, it feels like it's muffling that airflow. And it also feels like the airflow is too open. So it's kind of a weird thing in my head because it feels like the airflow is too open at the point where it hits the coil, but it also feels like the coil is kind of muffling it. So I don't know if maybe moving that coil up a little bit would have helped. I didn't really mess with it too much. I just kind of used it the way it was because quite frankly, it performs decently with it like this. So I didn't really change it up too much. All right, I believe that is everything I wanted to show you. So that's a pretty quick and easy view of the Bunker RDA by Asmodus. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We have a vape off of it, and you kind of see what kind of vapor production you're going to get from it. This is I'm hitting it with about 4.1. I just changed my batteries out, so we're hitting about 4 volts. Decent flavor. It makes me feel, so this is how this RDA makes me feel when I use it. It makes me feel like I want to pull on it harder to get more flavor. But it's just reached the bottom and it's just not there. So flavor-wise, I wouldn't say it's a negative or a positive. I would say it's a very average flavor. Ease of use. So let's go over the pros and cons, and I have some written down here that I want to talk about. One of the big pros with this is that it's easy to use. So if you're not really into rebuildables or you're new to squonking, this is an RDA that will be up your alley. This is something that you can look at if you can afford it, because it's in the $40 price range. It's about $39.99. It's a touch higher than some of the other squonk atomizers out there. So this is something that one of the positives would be the ease of use, the ease of install, that you can actually see it if you were going to use it in that fashion, to see to make sure that it's actually wicked and that your wicks are saturated. The quality of it. So that's a big plus for me. The quality of this product is very, very high. For a $40 RDA, it certainly meets that quality level, if not exceeds it really. It came to me, it wasn't dirty. I wash everything that I get. I've never really gotten anything from Asmodus that was dirty. They have pretty good quality control, I would assume. And this thing's a fingerprint magnet. You saw some fingerprints on it, and I haven't even used that one. So, I mean, it is a fingerprint magnet, and there was nothing on it. I mean, the deck was clean. I kind of inspect it when I first get it and take it out just to make sure that it's not, it wasn't carelessly packaged, and it was very well packaged. It came to me, I really probably could have taken it out and used it if I would have wanted to. The deck of it, you know what? It's similar to the C4, but not near as effective. The C4 RDA's deck, with the airflow, the honeycomb coming in at the angle it came in, and it did, it closed it down onto the coil, is a much more pleasing, flavorful vape to me. But the deck is very similar in that it's a ferro style install. It's 2 clamps on either side, and it has the chamber reducer with the deck coming a little bit further out. The negatives milled in just like on the C4 and all that. So very similar. Now, this RDA is 0.5 millimeters bigger. That is going to be one of the questionable things about the RDA for me, is that it's a single coil RDA, but it's 24.5 millimeters. That just seems like it's a little big. I don't know why they did that. I really don't. I mean, either make it 25 or make it 24. So that's a questionable thing to me, and I can't really find a reason. I think what happened, this is my guess, is I think they designed it as a 24 millimeter, and then they realized